Okay. Hello, Broly Sports fans. I am Mr. C, representing BSCN, and today we're doing an interview with the EMEA prodigy Juice. Juice played at Madrid together with Yoko and Rup, and now represents Novo, the big Italian org. How are you, Juice? Are you feeling good for this interview?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Okay, perfect. Like I just said, you started this year outside of Novo and then moved into one of the most competitive rosters in EMEA just before the summer split. What do you think changed most for you personally between those March and April monthly finals where you've qualified with Madrid and the level that you've now reached in these June and July monthly finals together with Novo?
I mean, for the level I get between this month, I would say I increased because with Novo, I fixed obviously some mistakes that I was doing in Madrid. But to be honest, I feel like I'm pretty the same. But of course, I have better level, but I think there is no really much difference, to be honest.
All right. Those mistakes you just talked about, was that more like in draft or in your mechanics?
Mostly in mechanics. Like I'm not the drafter in any of my team. I mean, in Madrid we were all drafting together mostly, even if it was more Rip and Joko's job. But now in Novo, it's mostly our coach Dorian who is handling drafting.
All right, I see. And since you've now joined Novo in June, the team has gone from a June top 4 finish to a July grand final against Foot. You even managed to get one set off of these EMEA giants. What do you think changed now with you being on the roster rather than before?
To when there was we stayed, I think what changed is that, for example, I am the player who will play the aggressive brawler, the assassin, and I know that Filippo would have liked to get two players to play aggro in the roster, and my arrival in the team enabled him, for example, to play other kind of brawler he wanted more, and I think we complete well each other, and we have a different type of brawler, so we can all be on our confident brawler, and it makes a difference.
Okay. So you bring just the assassins to the table, and that's what the team was lacking. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Like I just said, in July you managed to go to the grand final, managing to beat Team Heretics 3-0. Then you got revenge during the Italian derby against Totem with another 3-1, and only fell in the final to Foot. When you look back at that match, back at that run, that entire run, which match do you think says the most about where Novo really stands right now?
I would say it was a match against Team Heretics. I think we played really well. The first set, they were playing the Grey comp, and we played perfectly by not feeling the Grey TP. The second set, I think it was in knockouts. We were playing Buster comp. We knew how to play against them. We were just playing stack, and they couldn't really do anything. I guess that's like they could win only if we were doing mistakes, but we weren't doing really mistakes, so they didn't really have a chance to win.
And you are confident that you can maybe even repeat this run or perhaps even win a monthly final next time?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I even think we could have won this monthly final, but I mean, we did some mistakes, but now we reviewed the game and we know what we have to correct for the next monthly final, and I hope next monthly final we will have the opportunity to win it.
If you can share what those kind of mistakes were that you've made against Foot, what would you say was the most important one? Or the biggest one in general?
I mean, it's more an accumulation of mistakes because I guess Foot, if you are doing one mistake, they will know how to punish you, and you're not really allowed to do mistakes against them. But for example, in drilling battles, I had Surge, for example, and I know that there is some moment where I shouldn't die. And for example, if I wouldn't die at certain moments, we would have win the game and maybe the set, for example.
I see. And now coming back to that Italian derby with Totem, it just keeps on coming back into the season. Novo beat them in March without you, lost to them in June, sadly, and now you've beaten them in the July qualifier and in the July monthly final. What do you think makes that particular matchup so difficult to solve? Even like when you've seen each other this many times, so an average player would think that you've kind of figured out each other.
I mean, Totem has really good drafts. For now, I face them 3 times during the year, so 1 time in June monthly final and 2 times in July. I think in June we are kind of surprised by the type of draft and we weren't really prepared to face them. But then we understood what was the mistakes we were doing against them. So we tried to correct them and it pretty worked out well since we beat them 3-1 in the monthly qualifier. And even if in monthly final it was a bit tougher, at the end we still won. So yeah, I think we get it how to play against them.
I see. And now coming to the BSCR question. I don't know if you know BSCR, but maybe you remember them for using a picture of Drake in their post about you being on the July EVP list. EVP stands for Exceptionally Valuable Player, which means that you played on an astonishing level during the July monthly final. What part of your game do you think matters most to the team? For example, winning your lanes, your clutch mechanics, your communication, or perhaps something that people outside of the team wouldn't really notice?
I think the biggest thing I'm doing in the team is making space. I'm playing the aggro, so my goal will be to make space for my teammate to push. For example, like during the most final, I was playing a lot Edgar, and in some matchups, especially in Camping Canyon, my objective wasn't really to make skill, but for example, to go in the corner and just make the team losing time to my teammates go up and make pressure or even them to take the kill. So yeah, I'm just making space for my teammates.
Okay. So you're that kind of positioning expert on the team, you could say.
Yeah, we could say that.
All right. Now with this year in BSC, there's been some recent additions with, for example, map draft or global bans even. This all and all the other aspects with the current meta and everything, it puts a lot of focus on the draft. From your side of the game, where do you think Novo gains the biggest kind of edge over the other teams in draft right now? And where do you think the top teams like Foot are still making you uncomfortable?
These additional drafts, I would say, are beneficial for us, especially the global bans, which enable us to just ban the control corner on opponent team. And sometimes there is some teams where we know that it will be annoying to play against some rollers, so we can just ban it. And about map draft, I mean, we can play on some maps where we are comfortable, but I don't really know if it changed anything. I mean, when we are in map drafts, we pick obviously map where we are comfortable, but any maps we are playing is fine for us. Like we are going into the most final with the mindset, okay, any map we will play, it should be okay for us.
I have a kind of additional question to that. If you could have banned one more brawler globally against Foot, which brawler would that be in your opinion?
I don't I couldn't really answer now because when we are doing global bans, usually we are using the data of the team and we are just seeing with which brawler the opponent team is comfortable. For example, I guess Foot, we banned Ruffs because we know they are really good with Ruffs, and for example, they played it 3 times against Humble in the semi-final. And for them, it was the same. They banned Edgar. It was just a target ban for us since we had played Edgar a lot during the multi-final.
I see. We've actually done the math now, and you are definitely qualified to LCQ, which is going to be your first LAN at the least. But you're still in the race for the World Finals even. Do you think that you will qualify to World Finals during the next monthly final?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I mean, I don't see reason to make us not qualified. Like, I think if we make quarters final, it must be like scenario where Heretics has to win the monthly final or things like this to make us not qualified. And like with my performance over the years, I will make everything possible to qual. I have still the objective to win the monthly final, so I will give my all to lock the world spot and even win the last monthly final eventually.
In the World Finals, if you or like on the world stage, if you could pick one international team or one player even to test yourself against on the world stage, who do you think it would be and why?
I mean, I don't think that in offline or in stage teams will really change. I mean, maybe the way of playing, but for the way of draft, it will be mostly the same. But I would like to play against a team from another region because for now I almost never played against teams from other regions, so I don't really know the play styles and the draft style also because from the region teams are drafting differently. So I'm really looking forward to, in Worlds, if we qualify, to face teams from other regions to adapt to them.
And now looping back to the question we had before, do you think that you would feel disappointed with perhaps not qualifying to World Finals this year?
Yes, I mean, obviously I would feel disappointed, especially since I'm, except beside Humble and Foot, I'm individually one of the best player like through result this year because I did 2 semi-finals, 1 grand finals, and 1 quarters. So if with this year I will not qualify for World Final, yeah, it will be really disappointing.
You have such a good fighting spirit. That's really good. And now to the last question. What would you say to the Novo fans who have followed this team through all of its roster changes and now see you so close to the most important events of the entire year?
I hope my arrival in the roster was great to them, and I just want to say that we'll qualify for World Final and try to go the furthest possible and even maybe try to win it.
Thank you so much for taking part in the interview. And we wish you, of course, a lot of luck for the next monthly final. And we hope you're going to qualify for World Finals. See you maybe in the next interview.